All right, welcome to Her Hoop Stats, your place where you go for all of women's basketball information. I am Helen Williams, and I am joined today. I'm so excited I'm telling you, folks, one of the best play-by-play people in the business. If you have not heard her, you need to find out where she's calling a game, and you need to listen to her. Cindy Brunson. I've been trying to get BMAC to put us together forever, and finally we are together today.
Helen, thanks so much for the kind introduction. Clearly, the check has cleared,
Yes,
processed, and
it
the funds
did.
have hit your bank account. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. I miss being on the mic this WNBA season. I'm going to rectify that next season for sure. But for now, folks can find me on Arizona women's basketball on ESPN Plus, covering Big 12. And NBC Sports and Peacock has invited me back for more coverage of the Big 10 and Atlantic 10. And Athletes Unlimited will have me back
Sweet.
for season 5 in Nashville. So I'm just on a little bit of a pause, but I'm having a blast on Her Hoop Stats podcast and so excited to work with you, Helen. I said before we got started, longtime fan, first time caller. So this will be fun.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna put it out there in the universe that you and I are gonna do a game together this year. Don't know what
Oh,
network,
I
what
love
league.
that.
I'm gonna put it out there that we are gonna work together.
Listen, I did that last year with Christy Winter Scott, and it finally happened last November. So I believe
Okay.
what we put out there, we will receive. So, yes, I'm looking forward to chopping it up with you courtside.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. So let's get to it.
Okay.
Let's start with you got on a Liberty shirt.
Yes, I
So
do.
let's
And
start
my
with
Aunt
look at that. Oh my God, you get that is so cute.
Isn't
If you
it?
guys are if you're not looking at YouTube, Cindy's holding up an Ellie stuffed
Yep.
animal, and I love that.
Only because Emma is back. Emma is with one of the best teams in the league and is helping everybody forget about that 4-game skid and the fact that Stewie is still sideline injured. Yeah, I really like what New York has done by bringing in a 2019 WNBA Finals MVP. Just to help the team. It's
Just to help
amazing,
the rich
right?
get richer.
Yes.
And everybody's looking at that, and I'm looking at it as this, and we'll talk about Minnesota too. I'm looking
Mhm,
at it as glass half full. How many coaches get the opportunity to test lineups and play
right.
around with rosters in real time situations, real pressure situations,
Mhm.
in preparation for what you want to do during the playoffs? And not that you want anybody to be injured, but you have Stewie out, you have Caleb Burke out, you have
Mhm.
Sabali out,
Yeah,
and still you bring in Meeseman and you don't miss a beat.
right. Yeah, I feel for Kennedy Burke because she was playing so well before she got
Yeah,
injured, but, to your point, being able to look down the bench and go, Emma, can you help us out? Thanks." I mean, oh, so fun. And the tall get taller, right? An already giant lineup just increased a little bit in size. I think only rivaled by Los Angeles now in the WNBA as far as height across the board.
yeah, and I'm looking at that on both sides of the floor. I'm thinking that's great for offense. It's
Mhm.
decent for defense. That is my one concern though with the height for defense when you have smaller, quicker players who can handle the ball to get their shoulders past those taller players
Mhm.
for for New York. And every once in a while they'll go on these tangents where they're not there defensively. It doesn't
Mhm.
last for long, but it lasts long enough to allow teams to stay in it. So I'll be curious. I was just playing around looking at some stuff the other day. I'm like, I would at some point, as big as they are, and with the wingspan, at some point play a zone. They don't need to do it right now, but
Ooh.
that would be in my back pocket for later because as long as they are, they can cover a lot of space. The only team that I've seen use his own a lot is the Valkyries.
Mhm.
They do 3 matchup, but to me, I'm like, I would have that in my back pocket. What do you think?
Ooh, I have been around enough to know that some people embrace the zone and some people think it's a taboo word and shouldn't be uttered aloud. So, but look, if it comes down to winning or losing, and it could help and create a wrinkle that the opposition hasn't seen and isn't prepared to deal with, then by all means, hit that Z button.
What do you think about, since you've seen Meeseman, it's been what, 3 games now?
Yeah, but
In
at least
terms of,
two.
or okay, what do you
Yeah.
think about it in terms of how she's been integrated on in the offense on
Uh,
for New York?
It's been seamless. She has such familiarity with so many of her teammates on the floor already,
Yeah.
going all the way back to the Mystics with Tosh Cloud. And I loved that Tosh started the cheer, Emma, Emma, post game as she was getting interviewed at Barclays after the latest Liberty win. So I think there's already that connectivity. She's played with a lot of members of the team overseas. So I just think, you know, she's adaptable, right? She's an elite basketball player globally, not just here in the United States, not just in Belgium. So she's a proven winner and she can get after it. So she just it's the ideal circumstance of plug and play.
Yeah, I do like the fact too, though, that Sabrina Ionescu's been scoring a little bit over these last few games, just a
Just
tad.
a little bit. Just creeping into that. Hey, I may not be at the top of your list for MVP, but you better put me in the chat.
Don't forget about me.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's done a great job, and I still say their bench is the strongest in the league. I said that at the
Mhm.
beginning of the year, and I faltered a little bit when Minnesota started playing, you know, started playing a little bit better. But by far, 1 through 9 at least, they have, I think, the best team.
Yeah, 100%. Because your ideal, right, is to build your starting five that has very little drop off when 6, 7, 8, and 9 come in. And that's what the Liberty have done.
Now, if you look 1 through 5, there's some, with Minnesota, they can rival them with 1 through 5, and they
Sure.
had added,
At full strength.
um, yeah,
At full
that
strength.
is the key, healthy and at full strength and able to
Yes.
play 40 minutes. But
Mhm.
what did you think about the Dijonai Carrington trade? Well, everybody's been talking about it, but I want to get your opinion.
It's brilliant. Listen, I love Nay. Had her at Athletes Unlimited. I think she is a very special player. First year of AU, I think she was either top or second in scoring. I mean, she can score the basketball. That was the first thing that really opened my eyes because I've always known her as a defender. So the fact that she's a great two-way player now, she's worked so hard on her three ball, on her mid-range jumper, and just driving to the basket and forcing the defense to play defense and earn trips to the free throw line. I think it gives Minnesota that perimeter defender with size and strength that, frankly, they were missing. Cheryl Reeve, year in and year out, always knows what button to push. And I love to
Yep.
sit back and watch the master work because it's just remarkable how she just gets what the team needs. And for Nay, listen, she posted on social, this is the first time I've had fun this season playing basketball. And she said that after wearing a Lynx uniform. So that speaks volumes too to the culture in Minnesota, to what the Lynx are about. And I think it's just a perfect fit. I can't wait to see how far Minnesota goes in the postseason.
Yeah, I was excited. I DM'd BMAC as soon as I saw it because I said that they needed to get a bigger guard who can
Hmm.
shoot, and lo and
Hmm.
behold, they got her. But I still think they have some work to do. I mean, the deadline is tomorrow at 3.
Right?
No, or what's today? Wednesday? Yes, the
Hmm.
deadline is tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I still think they have some work to do to get one more piece. And I'm just going to throw out there that I'd like to see them get Aaliyah Edwards. And
Ooh, I bet
I
they would
like
like to
that
get
idea
Aaliyah Edwards too.
because of what happened with Collier. She's
Yeah.
out. You need somebody else, there to take up that spot. I mean, they would have to give up a number one pick, I think, to get her, but I mean,
Mhm.
why not go for it? What do you think?
I think that is the only thing that when you look at Minnesota across the board, it lacks size, right? When you compare it to New York, a Los Angeles, even Seattle. But what did they do? They went into Climate Pledge Arena and said, you know what? We're undersized. We're just going to get after it. We're going to have our guards defend tenaciously at the top. We're going to create turnovers and we're going to be okay without the length. So even though an Aaliyah Edwards, um, to Minnesota deal might look attractive. I know Cheryl Reeve and everybody in the management team is going to look at what do we have to give up and
Yeah,
do
yeah,
we really need another tweak? Because remember, you don't want to give up picks moving forward because in 27, that will be what the Juju Watkins class. I mean, I think and everybody's going to be a free agent in 26. So I
yeah.
think for me, I would want to stand pat. I look at a team like Phoenix that somehow was able to wrangle and get Alyssa Thomas, MVP candidate, and
Yep.
Satu Sabali, and didn't give up a first round pick to do it. Like, that's remarkable. So if those kind of trades can be facilitated without giving up a first rounder, then yes. But otherwise, if I'm Minnesota, that team finds a way. And I just look around the locker room and go, I think we're okay.
Yeah, and the key part is what you said earlier, though, is full strength
Mm,
and healthy,
yep.
because they're I think probably 7, maybe 8 players,
Yeah.
and you're obviously going to have a shooting game like you did from Kayla McBride. She's going to be key to to them doing well, and she's starting to play well and starting to hit shots. She struggled there for a little bit, but
Mhm.
she's a hooper.
Yeah, she's reminding everybody of that nickname, McBuckets. 8 for 8 from 3 in the first half. I wanted her to get the record. We've
I
seen 4
know.
people hold the record for years now with 9 made triples in a game, and I so wanted her to shatter that, and she's just like, "No, I'm good. We're winning. We're up. I'm gonna get a little rest."
Yeah, yeah. I was like, you just need 2 more. That's
I
it.
know.
You just need 2 more. Go out there.
Yes.
But yeah, and obviously you see what happened when players stay in the game a little bit long.
Yeah.
But they're going to be fine, and I assume, could be wrong, that those
Mhm.
will be the last 2 teams standing. But I want to get your opinion on the teams that are right there with Atlanta, Indiana, and
Mhm.
Phoenix. What's your thought on what are your thoughts on what they need to do to if they need to do anything during as far as trades by tomorrow? Should they
Mhm.
stand pat? Which of those teams you think could possibly end up in the top 2? Because I was listening to Monica McNutt the other week, and
Mhm.
her bold take was that Atlanta would finish number 2 by the end of the
Mhm.
season. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, Phoenix already kind of made that deal, right? By bringing in Dewana Bonner. So I can't see a
Right.
move that would make Phoenix stronger than it is. What the Mercury need to do is get back to Mercury basketball, hitting a bunch of threes. They were averaging 10 made threes a game before the All Star break, and that number has dropped off precipitously. They need to figure out a way to win on the road. I know they had a grueling 5 game road trip. They finally got right when they got back at home and faced Connecticut. But you have to win on the road in case there's some slippage and you don't end up top 4 with home court advantage and the X factor behind you. Atlanta, all they have to do is get healthy. Man, once Rye can join the party, oh my goodness gracious. Alicia Gray is already having an MVP caliber season. Bree Jones has been such a beautiful addition, her ability to rebound the basketball and just be in the right place at the right time. And then BG is still proven, hey, I'm a multi-time
Hello, here I
all-star.
am.
I'm an Olympic gold medalist multi times. Like, I am her. So with all of those pieces and Naz Hillman, when I look at most improved player or sixth person of the year, the awards I can just hand them out all over the league, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. And
Yeah,
Naz Hillman is at the top of the table when it comes to those conversations because she has just been the glue. Whatever the team needs, whether it's perimeter defense, 3-point shooting, which she has remarkably improved it's just been so fun to watch. Naz is just relentless, and you need that person on your roster who says, "Not today, not today. We're not losing today." And Nas has been that person. And she has been the person to find Gray in space, to get Jordan Canada cooking, to always be the one you see when they huddle up on the floor, they gather around Nas. Nas is the first one to talk. And I think that is really important to watch down the road. So for those 2 teams, they don't have to do anything. They just have to get healthy and
okay.
keep it rolling.
What about Indiana? Because we sometimes don't know which Indiana team we're gonna get, and I don't mean
Mm,
with Kate or without Caitlin. It's just
yeah,
you just never know. What do you think about them? I don't think they'll be making any more moves. I'd be surprised if they did. But what are your
yeah.
thoughts on them?
Yeah, I don't think they need to make any more moves. They just need to get healthy and see what the roster looks like with Caitlin on the floor. I think Ari McDonald has been a delightful surprise for them. Now, those of us here in the state of Arizona know all about Ari
You know
McDonald
the
and what
deal,
she
yeah.
is capable of. Yeah, I mean, Ari McDonald literally became a number 3 overall draft pick in her class based on her NCAA tournament run, where Arizona came within an eyelash of winning the Natty against Stanford in the all Pac-12 final, which still breaks my heart to this day because college football cratered the best women's basketball conference in the country, but I digress. But Ari is proving that not only does she deserve burn in the WNBA in the right system, which Stephanie White's system is built for McDonald's, so much like what Adia Barnes was running at Arizona when Ari was there. That you shoot till your arm falls off and you defend like your ability to breathe depends on it, and you will stay on the floor. And that has worked out beautifully for McDonald. So to have McDonald and Caitlin in the backcourt with Kelsey Mitchell, defend that.
Whew,
Defend that. Like,
yeah. Whew,
what
you're
what
gonna
are
be
we
working
doing?
hard.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and that just opens up the floor for Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston. So, I still expect Indiana to continue to climb up the standings, and it is up to Phoenix to maintain that top 4 position because Indiana, and I will put this out there too, LA is coming. The Sparks have figured it out. And all of that length that Lynn Roberts can throw on the floor now, with the defensive mindset that Letitia Trammell has brought to the party with her
Yes,
recent
yes.
signing with the Sparks, the ability for somebody like Rakia Jackson to get out and defend Ari McDonald like we saw in the last game. Come on. That's just a a ridiculous wealth of riches. The length alone and the shot making. Every time Los Angeles steps on the floor, you expect to see triple digits on the scoreboard. And that is a challenge to the rest of the league. How are you going to stop us? How are you going to stop Azare Stevens, corner 3, that has just been money? She's averaging career highs in 3-point percentage and scoring. Rebounds are right where they need to be. I love Z's game, and I think she and the Sparks are going to shock people the rest of the way because thanks to Tulin's treasures, sign up for the emails, her Hoop Stats Pod. We know that Los Angeles has the 5th easiest schedule the rest of the way. That team is coming. Mark it down with a Sharpie.
I'm gonna be a homer here. Shout out to Demon Deacon, De'Erica Hamby, who has
Yes.
had a great year. She is
Mhm.
always where she needs to be, when she needs to be, however she needs to be for that team.
Yes.
And I
And
love
an
Kelsey
all-star
Plum.
snub in my opinion. All-star snub in my opinion. She should have been an
Oh
all-star.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was upset. Again, a bit of a homer and a bit biased, but
No, 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 but
uh
she does the work. And listen, I don't know that many folks know this. De'Erica didn't start playing basketball until high school. So when you grade her out over a WNBA career, she is in her prime right now when it comes to basketball years, and she is proving it night in and night out.
yeah, and I love what Lynn Roberts does with their offense. I mean, she did that
Mhm.
at when she was at Utah, and now she's got Alyssa Peely with her
Yeah.
for a hot minute. We we don't know how long that's going to last, but I think it took them a minute, partly because of health, but partly just trying to learn the system. But I do agree with you that they are coming
Mhm. Yeah.
for sure.
KP is going to drag them wherever she thinks that team will go. She is the Energizer Bunny, and Kelsey Plum being on Los Angeles and not with Vegas is why I think Las Vegas has taken a step back.
I do think you have a great point there. I've been listening to everyone talk about Vegas, and people are just really frustrated with them. And I'm thinking, everybody keeps saying they're coming and coming, and I'm thinking, why?
Yeah.
based on what you see, but I think that the last couple of years, they've just built some equity because they've been champions, and so people
Yeah.
are expecting, they're gonna figure it out, Becky's gonna figure it out, and
Yeah.
it's just not there.
Yeah. Well, Becky's hamstrung, right? She doesn't have Tyler Marsh and she doesn't have Natalie Nakase. And I
That's an
don't think,
underrated thing that
right?
people aren't talking about is the
Right?
coaching staff.
Yes, we can't underestimate what those 2 in particular meant, right? Because Natalie was the defensive guru and Tyler was the Jackie Young shot whisperer. So, it's like when you take those 2 pieces away, you're left with the face of the WNBA and Asia Wilson, the first player to score more than 1,000 points in a single season just a season ago. But how are all the other pieces fitting around her? How is it gelling? And I think with all of what Vegas is missing, it's a lot to overcome. Still, you can't count them out. When you can run out 4 Olympians on any given night, you've got a chance. But for me, because of all the changes, and especially minus KP, they're missing swagger. And for me, that was the thing that put them over the top. Everybody's got
Yeah.
talent. But if you walk in the gym expecting to win, that's a whole nother thing. Because for me, that's what Seattle is missing. If Seattle had it right here,
Yes.
they have more than enough talent. Skylar Diggins is playing out of her mind. Awesome. Nneka Ogwumike looks like the 2016 MVP version of Nneka that we fell in love with in LA. They are hooping, they're just not closing. And I've seen that team blow so many leads in the fourth quarter now. And it's just this inconsistency. They can play lights out on Tuesday and the lights turn out completely by Friday. It's remarkable. And for me, it's all up here. So if they can figure out, get with a mental performance coach or something to figure out that piece and develop that swagger mindset, Seattle will be another team that could wreck folks and mess around and win the whole darn thing.
Yeah, as a coach, it's just so frustrating to watch them because y you wanna like Becky said the other day, all she does is just watch film. You want this X's and O's fix, but
Yeah.
it's not always that, and you've got people that are playing well. I watched Malonga last night. She
Yeah.
is no longer running around like a deer in headlights, she is you can tell her from her body language that she's more confident and she's become more
Mhm.
productive with the minutes that she has, and
Yep.
she's going to be freaking unbelievable. But yeah, that's the part that just grinds on my nerves. I'm like, it's the C word. It's always the C word.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why can't you do this on a consistent basis? And
Mhm. And the other key word, confidence, right?
yeah, yeah, true.
Are you confident in what you're doing? Like for me, I love Gabby Williams. I want to see Team France Gabby Williams every night when I tune in to watch the Seattle Storm. And I've seen her occasionally. I've seen her hunt shots and take over and remind everybody, yeah, I'm a 3 level scorer. I can get whatever I want and I will defend you within an inch of your life. But I don't see that with confidence, to your point, consistently because she's an X factor. She's that the unicorn type of player, right? The stretch 3, 4 that can do a multitude of things for you on the floor. And I just need to see it night in and night out.
Yeah, it's strange because she got her 75th steal last
Hmm.
night and is or she probably has more than that now. I
Right.
didn't watch the fourth quarter, but so that part of her game I don't think has slipped, but
No.
it is one of those things where I'm like, yeah, hunting shots I think is the key. And is she? Well, this is Skylar's team. This is NECA's team. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I totally agree with you that she is the X factor for them.
Yeah. And shout out for the steals. Love that for Gabby. Just want to remind everybody that Teresa Weatherspoon stole 100 steals in the late 90s to lead the league and win Defensive Player of the Year for the Liberty, and they only played 30 games.
Shout out to Teaspoon. All right. Well, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about the 2026 draft because there's
Okay.
so many. Let's take Dallas and let's take Washington now, who has a
Okay.
lot of first round picks. I'm going
Yep.
to read who's some people that are coming out there: Lauren Betts, Az Fudd, Olivia Miles, Tanai Latson, Flau'jae Johnson, Cody McMahon, Chloe Kitts. I mean, those are
Woo.
just Reagan Beers, Roy Harmon. I mean,
Mm.
Kiki Rice. So if you're one of those
You
teams
just
with,
built a WNBA team with your
I
list.
know, I know. If you're a general manager, what do you think about that class? And who do you? I mean, obviously you're gonna. Well, three things.
Mhm.
One, you're gonna obviously think about European players. Two,
Right.
you're gonna think about the free agents because 80% of the league's going to be free agents, and then you're looking at the players that are coming out. Like, how are you thinking about constructing your roster with 2026?
Well, I think Dallas may be looking at a Lauren Betts, right? Because they waived Tierra McCowan. They really like what they have in Lee Yaroo. Can you
Yeah, I like
imagine?
her a lot.
Yeah, I do too. And that's Kurt Miller because he loved her with Los Angeles and he refused to give up on having her as a part of what he's building in Dallas. And she has developed beautifully. She is doing everything that the team asks and she's rim running. And that's exactly what Lauren Betts does. Lauren
Okay.
plays with the tenacity. I had UCLA a couple of times last season. The improvement in her game, her ability to defend without fouling and finish around the rim, and she free throws beautifully. So she is everything that you want in a big and then some. Tall, athletic, long, the whole deal. So when I look at what Dallas could need, Lauren Betts is at the top of the list. But all of these teams are going to have an opportunity to get better in a heartbeat with a draft pick because we've seen over the last 5, 6 years, maybe going back 7, that these young women leave college and they are ready
They
for
are
the next
pro
level.
ready, basketball IQ and physically.
Yep, yep, and shout out to the coaches in the Division 1 level and beyond who are scheduling hard, who are looking to create greatness in their own programs, and by doing so, are just giving us these wonderfully gifted players to watch at the professional level.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I would not want to be a general manager right now because you're gonna have to make a lot of decisions in all three of those areas, and then you're gonna have to do some recruiting. You're gonna have
Mhm,
to be a place where people are watching what you're doing this year. They're watching.
yep,
Are you putting in money for facilities? Are you putting in
mhm,
money for staff? Do you have marketing? Are the crowds like? I'm sure people would want to go play for the Valkyries. I mean, that their
mhm,
crowd is ridiculous. Phoenix is ridiculous. New York
yep.
is ridiculous. So watching what those teams are doing is going to really inform how players, decide where they're going to move.
Absolutely. The increase in attendance that has really caught my eye is Los Angeles. People are excited. The season ticket sales went up last year with the draft class of Rakia Jackson and Cameron Brink, and the numbers have only shot through the roof. When I was watching games yesterday, I was impressed not just with the games that I saw, but with the celebrity rows at both New York
That's how you
and Los
tell.
Angeles.
That's how you
Yes,
tell if you've made it. Who is on
yes.
Celebrity Row?
That's it. Yes, and I just thought to myself, "Wow, not even 5 years ago were we getting this." Like, Los Angeles has been playing great basketball for a long time, storied franchise, last franchise to win back-to-back chips with Lisa Leslie. I mean, this is a great franchise, and it was one on my WNBA tour that I was gonna skip because 'cause I've been to LA before, and, I was there watching Alana Beard and, Neko Ogwumike and Chelsea Gray, that crew, when they were on their way to winning in 16. So I was like, oh, do I waste a trip to LA because I've already been there? And now I kind of want to waste a trip to LA because it is such a vibe again. And I think that they, now that they have made the announcement that they too are going to, get a practice facility and get a place for their players to go, that could be a destination. Phoenix, the X Factor is fantastic, but they've fallen to like 5th or 6th in attendance because folks just leave the valley during the summer. It's just
It's
part and
too hot.
parcel of, yeah, it's just too hot. Like, it's supposed to be 117 degrees today or something
Oh
crazy.
my
Like,
goodness.
yeah, I'm inside doing a podcast for a reason. Not only do I love you, Helen, but it is just too hot to be outside. But because of that, a lot of people take their June or their July and early August before school starts to just get out of Dodge, go to San Diego, go to northern Arizona. So attendance tends to be a struggle for Phoenix. And I think even though they have all of the bells and whistles with the practice facility, if I'm a free agent or I'm, a potential draftee and I'm looking at how many butts are they putting in the seats, it's impressive. They continue to sell out, but the sellout is 10,000 compared to 18,000 at the Valkyries, 18,000, 17,000 at the Liberty, 17,000 at Indiana. Those kind of things matter. How many fans do you have supporting at the end of the day might be the difference for, a big free agent name to make a move or for somebody to say, yeah, that's where I want to be. Practice facility, they checked all the boxes. The thing that they don't tell you is that they share it with their son's G League team. And Seattle doesn't share its facility with anybody. So there you go.
Yeah, and that's a great segue to the next thing that I want to talk about. Unrivaled, and
Yes.
you're talking about players and what they're looking for. So they are obviously had a great year last year,
Yeah.
and exceeded the metrics that they had set. And so now they're going to have this year, they're going to add another 6 players to the total roster. They had 36. Now they're going to have 42.
Mhm.
They've signed, I think, like 90% of the 90% of that. They're going to increase the salaries, right? And then they have this NIL deal with the 2026 rookies that we're talking about. When I'm looking at all that and taking all that in, when you're thinking now about minimum standards for players and what they
Mhm.
expect, I think they have raised the bar in areas other than what you're talking about with facilities and that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
does this increase their leverage along with the fact that teams are being added at a gazillion dollars for expansion in terms of they're just proving their point when it comes to the CBA that they deserve more?
Oh, 100%. I love the whole deal with Unrivaled because it's different, right? 3x3 versus 5-on-5 that you get in Athletes Unlimited. I think all of the leagues can coexist beautifully because they all offer something different. The Veronica Burton you're enjoying watching at Golden State was developed at Athletes Unlimited. Why? Because she got playing time. Instead of being buried on somebody's bench and fighting for minutes, she was a leader at Athletes Unlimited and now is leading the Valkyries. So I love what Athletes Unlimited can do in a 5-on-5 scenario. And I love the investment and just here we go back to that word swagger that Unrivaled brings to the table. It is not we hope to do well, it's we expect to do well and we expect the money to be behind this and we expect the investment. And the biggest piece for me that Unrivaled did that I haven't seen any other league do, and that includes the WNBA, is to get the TV piece right first, to let fans know where they can be seen, how they can easily be found, and then work everything else out. Because if fans have to hunt to find you, there are just too many other options
Right,
that can
right.
take their eyeballs away. So I just applaud that the TNT piece was in play for Unrivaled from the jump. And I just think that helped with exposure. And it's a made for TV event. I know Kathy likes to lean into that. Oh, they only have 800 fans. Boo boo, they don't need fans. This is made for TV. They'll put a few peeps on Celebrity Row and call it good because this is built to increase basketball ability for the participants, right? Because 3x3 is harder than anything. As a player,
Yeah,
you hate
yeah.
those drills, right? Because you get exposed like nothing else in
Right,
play
right.
because there's so much ground to cover, right? So we watch the ability increase. Like it's just remarkable to me to see the player development and improvement this season with a player like Angel Reese, the only player in the WNBA averaging a double double. I know she's hurt, but when she got out of her little funk to start the season, it was because of all the reps she got in Unrivaled, the confidence that was built with teammates, and rivals even loving on her and pouring into her And that's what everybody did with everybody. We saw it from Skylar Diggins, we just saw it across the board. Tosh Cloud, whoever participated in that league got better as a player. And that is huge and cannot be discounted. So, and I love that swagger now, because Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, who started it, are also key pieces of the WNBA negotiations. And so they know when it comes to this CBA what it's supposed to look like, because they forged it themselves.
Yeah, and let's not forget that first group, they got equity in Unrivaled too. It
Yes.
wasn't just the salary, so,
Yes. And
I
for
don't
the
know if
WNBA, Helen, that piece is important. They got to have the 50-50 like the NBA players do. That's first and foremost. Get that revenue share right. And I also hope and pray that this generation of players in this CBA takes care of the people who built this league. Get the
Yes,
pension, get the
yes.
pension right, get the insurance and healthcare right, because the players today are standing on the shoulders of Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, like all of the greats that have come before, and they need to be taken care of. The NBA does a very good job once you have 10 years in of service of taking care of their own, and the WNBA needs to do the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's amazing to me. These are just like bare minimum things you should have for
Right?
a job in general, and
Yeah.
obviously, with the women, there are going to be a couple of different things. Obviously, the childcare piece is really, really important.
Yes.
And the insurance and things like that. But it's amazing to me that these are things that people that they're having to ask for. And
Yes.
to have codified, in the CBA. So I thought that was interesting, and I do think that they have given the blueprint. Like, if you build it, they
Mhm.
will come. If you build it the right way, they will stay.
Yes.
And been very impressed with that. So yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. But man,
Yeah,
we
and
could talk.
my other concern is the length of the season for the WNBA. I
Oh
think
yeah,
40
yeah.
yeah, 44 games is too much. I think we're seeing the rate of injuries this season because of this compressed schedule. 4 games in 7 days, has been happening a lot to teams, and I just think it's too much. There's not enough
How do you
time for
solve
rest.
that though? How do you solve that? Do you go
I think you
longer?
No, you go shorter. I think you go back to, well, first of all, you expand rosters, right? So you have more ability to use your own bench and help yourself out. So this business of only averaging 11 players per roster, sometimes only 10, no, that's got to stop. But then secondly, I would like to see it go back to 40 games. I thought last season 40 games gave us high entertainment. I don't remember the injury bug biting as well, and
No, no.
you can absorb the Olympic break. It wasn't too crushing of a blow. Um, I think 40 games is great, because then it's must see TV every time they play. It reminds me of the NBA strike in 1999. I had just started at ESPN. And at first, everybody was panicked, like, oh, we're not going to be able to talk about the NBA every night. But then every single game mattered, Helen. We were glued to our TVs, even though it
Right.
was our job to do the highlights and stuff. But still, it was so competitive and awesome. And I think that is something special that the WNBA could have with a 40 game schedule. That if you water it down and go beyond 44, that is this season. I know Kathy Engelbert has talked about 50, and I just don't. That's a lot. As much as I love watching these women hoop, I want to be able to watch them hoop. Right? I want them on the floor, healthy, and with the ability to rest and recover.
Yeah, and that's the key thing you have to watch when you're building and growing, like, in certain areas. Are you doing too much,
Yeah.
right? And is it really is 4 games in the grand scheme of things financially gonna be that big of a deal when you can increase viewership because your players are gonna be healthier and people are gonna
Yes.
watch?
Yes.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Because as
Well,
we
Cindy.
expand, I worry about the star power too, right?
Yes,
Do we have
yes,
enough? Because you have to
exactly.
have that ticket selling player, right? Or 2 or 3. And then if you wanna compete for a title, you have to have 4 Olympians, maybe 5. Like it's
Yeah, you have to
uh,
have people that players that people wanna watch.
yes,
They have
100%.
to the best ability is availability, so,
Yes, and I
the
love the
injury piece and all
expansion.
that.
I wanna see teams. I thought 16 was a great number. I'm okay with 18, But beyond that, no. I'd like to just take a breath and get
Stand
the
pat
other
for a
things.
minute.
Yeah, yeah, get the other things right. Expand the rosters first and foremost. Get the pay where it needs to be and the equity share, and revenue
Yeah.
sharing. But
Yep,
yeah,
revenue share, yeah.
yeah, because I just,
That's a key piece.
Helen, we love this. We don't wanna see a watered down version of this because we have been spoiled up to this point with 12 teams, now 13, with a concentration of talent, and I don't wanna see that piece go away.
Well, and not to mention it makes our job easier because we can go more in depth with our observations when
Yes.
we're watching these teams. We can spend time watching, going a little bit deeper, whether it's X's and O's, whether it's
Mhm.
player skills and things like that. So that
Yeah.
makes a difference too.
Mhm.
Well, listen, we could talk all day. I am so happy that I got a chance to work with you. So tell everybody you're going to be doing WNBA for the rest of the summer, and then start with college, right? Is that what you said?
Right, right. I'm doing my little tour. Next stop, Vancouver next week to watch Atlanta and Seattle in the Canada game. And I'm excited to see what Toronto does up there. Portland should have an activation as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then at the end of August, I will be in Chicago for the Sparks and Sky and Candace Parker's jersey retirement. And Helen, now that Los Angeles has figured it out, I'm gonna have to sneak over to LA too. I just gotta figure out what that
You're on
looks
your
like,
own tour.
right?
Did you get a T-shirt from every stop?
I did. I always have to have proof I was there, right?
Okay,
And
okay,
because I love the league, I have my teams. I grew up in the Seattle area, so of course I love the Seattle Storm. Worked for Phoenix for several years, so I have an affinity for the Mercury because they're in my backyard. But I love every team, and I love a player or two or three or four or nine on every single team. I want
yeah,
everybody to win and have success. I look at a player like Ari McDonald for Indiana. I had the luxury of calling her games when she was at the University of Arizona, and I tried to tell everybody I knew in the game, "She is special. She is
yeah.
so freaking special. You just don't understand." Yes, diminutive. She can't help that. She's been that size pretty much her whole life, and she still finds a way. So, yeah. So I'm a fan of the league, of the players, and of the games. And just because I'm on the sidelines is not going to keep me from cheering because Ellie's going to help me.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, it was great talking to you. If you guys follow her hoop stats on all the platforms, all the social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, or excuse me, X,
Hmm.
uh, Blue Sky, all of that, and then obviously wherever you get your podcast. So, Cindy, great talking with you, and I'm looking forward to talking with you again.
Sounds good, Helen. Can't wait to work alongside courtside.
It's out there in the universe.
Woohoo! Universe, listen. Ellie says, put Helen and Cindy on a game together.
Love it. Love it.